I wanted to have a super quick debate about Sailor Moon Crystal. So this got some problems.
And Megan reviewed Sailor Moon Crystal for a very long time for IGN.
Literally for a year.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
yeah, 26 episodes. It's still going. Like the third, what we now know as Sailor Moon S with the Outer Senshi coming out is now out.
Yeah, they finally just started the promotional stuff for it. I think it comes out next season.
Yeah, I think it starts in spring. So April.
Yeah, so
I was so turned off by the animation. Rapid fire. No. Okay, go on.
yeah, I think so Sailor Moon Crystal got delayed for a long time. I think it was delayed by a year. And so it was kind of concerning. It's like, well, hopefully it's okay. Maybe the more time will make it a better show. Nope.
So my main thought about Sailor Moon Crystal that kind of disappointed me quite a bit was that it doesn't have any of that humor that the original anime had, that the manga actually didn't really ever have.
Yeah.
And I felt like the anime did so well with that kind of like slapstick joke stuff that they did. And I was always like, that's what I like. I like the filler episodes in Sailor Moon. That was my favorite part of the show.
Yeah.
Except for like later on, it kind of gets a little monotonous with the Monster of the Week type of thing.
Yeah,
they
that's
don't
fair.
really build on it. Yeah. Like it doesn't happen until like way later though.
Yeah, I think Sailor Moon Crystal, not having that, it made it just appeal to me a lot less.
Yeah.
It also, for my take, it takes too literal from the manga. Like, here's this frame, now here's this frame. And it kind of just moves too quickly through that to the point where you never really get character development aside from like Serena or Usagi, whoever you want to call her, Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a big problem because like everyone else just feels like background noise.
Cool. So I watched 26 episodes of the show.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to defend, like, the animation was definitely inconsistent. It's something that I mentioned. But I have to say that the art direction was actually pretty good. It had some really cool shots. And I actually liked that it followed the manga better because all throughout the original Sailor Moon, I couldn't figure out what the bleep was going on half the time. Because of those Monsters of the Week, it would get skewed. So even though Tuxedo Melvin is still my favorite episode of all time, fight me, I actually did like that it followed the manga better because I could actually follow the story. Some of the characters in the original show were dumbed down. Like Sailor Venus is regulated way to the background. She comes much more forward in the manga, so she became one of my favorite sailors. Freudian slip or slip of the tongue, you decide. But I just thought it was really cool. Mars is a lot more tolerable in this one because I had a love-hate relationship with her in the 90s, where I was like, I loved her, but at the same time, I hated her. I hated her snottiness and her entitlement, and was like, light yourself on fire,
That was
girl.
me as a child, so I related.
But I just felt like there were a lot of benefits to following the manga more literally. One being, now I know what is going on. And if there's a problem with this story, it's because the original source, let's be honest, like the art is beautiful and I had all the art books, but the source was never good to begin with. So whether it's Monster of the Week or the manga, the series makes no sense anyway, but at least it makes more sense with the manga. Although I do miss the original music because the original music was awesome.
I think the manga does a decent job of following Sailor Moon, but the problem with the anime is because we were familiar with having this development with everybody else and having them feel left out feels wrong.
Well, I don't know. I mean, the truth is, I'm just going to use their American names. So, like,
I know, it's
Molly and Melvin and all those
Yeah.
people, you know, they weren't...
Molly's side stuff was amazing. Sad.
Oh, no.
I cried.
Oh, we all cried. We all cried when Nephilim... Nope. But I just think that it was a big distraction. I mean, if we're perfectly honest, we were entertained by it, but it was really stretching things out a bit to the point where it was like, what is going on here? Now I don't even know. And things were cut out and put out of order. Of course, that could also be Deke's terrible translation, kissing cousins and all that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's kind of like, I think for all the amazing thing the 90s cartoon does, it just didn't make sense and it kept wandering off into kind of weird territory.
I think a problematic thing, though, with the new anime is how they pair up all of the Sailor Senshi with their matching guardian for, like, Mamoru's people. Like the
Yeah, but that was in the manga.
Called. Yeah, but they do it in, like, a real awkward way.
Well,
it's a very bad way.
Well, I mean, the 90s cartoon took liberties, whereas, like, Malachite and Zoisite were never a couple in the manga, and they threw them together. And I liked them as a couple, but that was, like, a weird thing that they took things and they were very liberal with it. And it was like...
that's one of the...
It didn't make sense.
That's one of the things I liked about it, that it was liberal and that it made it its own. It made, like, this other great universe for Sailor Moon. Like another retelling of the story that felt more personal and better for
But it didn't make sense. It's like, why is Jedi to Malachi? I keep saying Malachi. I forget what his actual name is, but it was Malachi when I was growing up. But like their importance was weird, like all over the place. And then in the manga, it's like, oh, that's what they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be. Because didn't you ever feel sorry for these girls? Like Sailor Moon gets her dream prince. These girls get, nothing. So I don't know. I just thought it made more sense. Now there's a reason where it's like, oh, that's why these people are in there. That's their tie to Mamoru and all that stuff. So
yeah, and also to be fair, Mamoru also gets powers. Like he's more empowered, I think, in the newer stuff and in the manga. Yeah. Whereas in the 90s, he was just like, ooh,
he was a professional cheerleader. Yeah, that was cool. He was like, oh, you're the prince of the earth. You actually have powers. That's cool, as opposed to being the very fancily dressed, Dallas cheerleader.
It's like, why doesn't he do anything?
But I did like that he emotionally suppored her.
Yeah,
that was a really
I do
nice
like
role reversal.
his role, but I think it was really surprising when I did eventually read the manga. That's like, oh, he had powers too.
Yeah, he was actually useful in some regard.
Yeah,
he didn't just throw a rose and give a lecture. All right. On that note,
so anyway, we hope the next one is better. Let us know what you think about Sailor Moon Crystal. We hope you enjoy it.